Polish President Andrzej Duda and Lithuanian President Gitanas Nausėda met on the last day of the week-long Brave Griffin joint military exercises along the Suwalki Gap on Friday. The Suwalki Gap is a strategically important stretch of land that's considered a potential flashpoint area in the case of a standoff between Russia and NATO. The border, almost 100 kilometers or 62 miles long between NATO members, Poland and Lithuania, is also a land corridor between Belarus, a Moscow ally, and Russia's Baltic Sea exclave of Kaliningrad. The drill included 1,500 Lithuanian infantry soldiers, nearly 200 members of Poland's 15th Mechanized Brigade, and U.S. and Portuguese military personnel. Speaking at the drill, Nausėda said the idea of deploying nuclear weapons would be a deterrent to Russia.
Branduolinio ginklų dislokavimo.
The idea of deploying nuclear weapons is not warmongering. It is not a threat to Russia, but it is the same element of the deterrence system, which is supposed to be a really significant deterrent and a force. The Russian propaganda mill is churning, and naturally, in such cases, there are always threats from their side. But the threats seem to indicate that this idea is indeed a significant deterrent, and naturally makes Russian politicians nervous. Polish President Andrzej Duda said on Thursday, April 25th, that he had invited Prime Minister Donald Tusk for talks on May 1st about the possibility of nuclear weapons from NATO states being deployed in Poland.
Wiecie Państwo znakomicie o tym, że Rosja od lat
You know perfectly well that Russia has been relocating its weapons and military, reinforcing its Kaliningrad enclave for years. It is not a secret to anyone. Among others, Iskander rockets have been relocated there over the years. There is probably a Russian nuclear weapon there. Therefore, it is Russia breaking the international treaties on spreading nuclear weapons. It is Russia who today relocates its nuclear weapons to Belarus. Therefore, I have no doubt the reaction from NATO countries is necessary. We need an adequate answer, and therefore I think that the whole NATO area should be tightly protected with nuclear weapons, and therefore I think that the nuclear sharing program should be extended to the countries on the NATO's eastern flank.
wschodniej flanki NATO.
Until recently, the land border was seen as vulnerable because if Russia were to ever seize the Suwalki Gap, it could leave Lithuania and the other two Baltic states, Latvia and Estonia, cut off from Poland and other NATO allies. However, that perception of the corridor has changed since Sweden joined NATO in March, as the Baltic Sea now is almost surrounded by NATO countries, and any attempts to cut off the corridor would not leave Baltic countries severed. The Baltic Sea is Russia's maritime point of access to the city of St. Petersburg and Kaliningrad, which is separated from the Russian mainland. The border stretch, named after a nearby Polish town, also provides land access connections between Belarus and Kaliningrad. Russian citizens have a visa waiver arrangement for passing through the area.